Now, A2X, which offers the market with a trading venue to secondary list and trade shares, has seen growth in its market share. The exchange offers low fee structure and increased liquidity, keeping up with international trends. And it's also got the 30 of the JSE's top 40 stocks on that listing platform. So, of course, now joining us, earlier on, I caught up with A2X CEO Kevin Brady to explore A2X's role in South Africa's trading ecosystem. Here's that conversation.
Actually, for A2X, last year was pretty much a year of two halves. We actually had a difficult mid-year, where we had to kind of recalibrate. But I'm pleased to say that we came out the second half incredibly strong, and in fact healthier, stronger, and we came into January and actually recorded a new fresh record in terms of trade activity, just short of 20 billion.
And actually, I mean, you talk about that difficult first half. Was it all the macroeconomy and all the election angst? What was it exactly?
It actually was a combination of things. You're right, the macroeconomics always play a part, but we had one or two issues in terms of how our client mix it was, and we saw kind of like a dialing down from one of our clients, and that had an impact.
Okay.
And so we were probably a little bit over-reliant, but now, as I say, we come out the other side much more diversified, a healthier and better mix of trade, really good support from our brokers, as well as obviously ongoing listings, and that's led us into a very strong start for 2025.
All right. And would you say that your client mix at this point is pointing to a more ideal situation?
Look, I think with the growth of all businesses, you need your champions, and those champions play an important part of your business. But as you grow, obviously for a healthy business, it needs to be diversified. And so those contribution is a lot more diversified now. So yes, look, we'd still like a lot more. We've got most of the top brokers on board. There's still a few missing. And as they come on, and we're expecting a couple this year, I think that will further strengthen our position as a strong competitor in the market.
All right. And just, I mean, just in the broader equity markets, there have been delistings and unbundlings. What has characterized the competition of A2X companies in the last year?
Gosh, that's a good question. I think from an A2X perspective, we've got 175 securities listed.
Yeah.
It represents about 70% of the market by trade.
Yeah.
I guess from our perspective, our focus is on those remaining 30%, of which actually 17 companies make up the bulk of it. It's trying to find ways to get the decision makers, educate them on the benefits of having a secondary listing, kind of dispel the misinformation often in the market around complexity and cost and those type of things. So from our perspective, yes, I mean, the broader market has been one of delistings. That is our focus. I will say maybe one of the highlights for us is we have 2 inward listings on A2X, which are unique to A2X out of the UK market. That chose A2X as their inward listed destination. So, while it's only 2 companies, it's a nice start in terms of adding to growing the universe rather than, a continual shrinking.
Well, there are actually quite a lot of movements as well on the JSE, where some of the smaller companies are moving from the smaller exchange, the AltX, to the JSE main board. So we will see if there also is appetite for those companies that have moved to the main board to go for a secondary listing. I mean, just on the macroeconomic environment that also did impact, I guess, trading. We did have the formation of the GNU, and we had a lot of investor appetite going into equities. Have you seen a fundamental shift in terms of your trading volumes after that?
So look, if we go back to volumes around about elections, if I remember, they were April, to where we are now, there's no doubt we have seen an improvement, and we have seen an increase in foreign trade onto our market. I will say that the formation of the GNU and obviously a lot of the noise around the macroeconomic policies has improved sentiment. There's clearly a lot more that can be done in terms of giving those foreign investors more confidence around investing in South Africa and catching a bigger portion of it. Obviously, we compete with many other emerging markets. So there's no doubt we are going the right direction. There is some caution and we need to see further developments, but I would say it definitely has triggered improved sentiment towards South Africa.
And of course, you don't just have listed companies where investors can only buy and sell shares in individual companies. You also offer ETFs and ETNs. And I mean, usually in such a volatile environment, I would imagine that there would be more favor for those index funds. Have you maybe seen any kind of trends shifts when looking at that?
So again, good question. We've got 59 actually of the ETFs listed on A2X. We've got all the main ETF issuers, and there's no doubt that the overall ETF market continues to grow. If we look at A2X specifically, actually, we've seen a lot of growth in activity in things like the gold ETF, the palladium, and the platinum. Actually, that's where we've seen a lot of the activity. But you're right. It's a great way for the retail market to gain exposure to lovely products at a very cost-efficient way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, you've also mentioned the cost efficiencies of the business, and that's also tied to technology advancements. And I'm wondering, obviously, because AI has permeated through, how every business operates. How is that impact on your business, and do you still see those cost efficiencies continuing also with the implementation of AI tools?
So I guess from our perspective, I think, first of all, just in terms of using the latest exchange technology has given us the ability to pass on huge efficiency gains. I mean, our fees on average, brokers are saving between 40 and 50% through fees on A2X. On top of that, there's additional liquidity. In terms of AI specifically, I think it's an evolving area for exchanges. I mean, I think first of all, you've got the staff side. How can I use these tools to make me more efficient and better at what I do? And then in what areas can we apply these within the business to make us better, particularly things around surveillance? So yes, I mean, I think it's evolving and we are becoming more efficient, but I think, it's still going to take some time.
And just to wrap up the conversation, any milestones that you are looking out for, expansion plans? Because I know that expansion is really a living, breathing area of a business.
Look, very much so. And I think, as you say, the beginning of 2025, what you do is you come back and you set your objectives and your strategies for the year ahead. And you're quite right, we have very aggressive strategies and milestones. We basically want to double the size of our business over the next 12 months. And that means a number of things. It means bringing on the brokers that we don't have on. And I'm pleased to say some of the big internationals, UBS will be on quite soon. JP Morgan has started the journey. We also obviously have a specific target around which issues we need on, and we're targeting them. So we want to take that 70% up to above 80%. And then importantly, we're rolling out some fairly innovative and in some areas and cost efficient in other areas, order types to make the unlocking of liquidity better. So yes, we've got a good focus. We're excited about the year ahead. And I mean, what are we now? Almost mid-February, markets up about 6%. Volumes have grown. So despite all the volatility and crazy noise out there, it's been a positive start.
There's really, really so much noise. It is quite interesting sometimes that you'll probably find a calm in the equity market. So thank you so much for your time and for your insights there, Kevin. That was A2X CEO Kevin Brady.